Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to The Legend of Zelda, Majora's Mask. In the last episode we came here to Snowhead Temple and got the fire arrows, which can deal a nice bit of damage and melt icy bastards, like these freezers. Unfortunately I can't go through multiple of them at the same time, but hey. With all of them out the way, we can now get something in this room that we couldn't get before. This episode, our real goal is the boss key, and also just opening up the way to the boss, because we've raised that pillar, if you remember last time, in the central chamber, and this time we just need to really proceed through the the entirety of the rest of the dungeon, because we have it all open to us now because we have the fire arrows, so nothing is sealed, nothing is frozen off. And we have this small key now, which is wonderful. So here we now need to head upstairs, I believe. Yes. So we couldn't do much last time we were in this room, other than there's a real bomb chute and a freezer to be killed. I forget the freezer take like 3 hits as well, because I normally just hit him with the Goron Link's Fire Punch, which deals with them much faster. Shield bonking is a nice way to insta-kill a real bomb chute. Here we've got, if we look up here, where the fuck is it? There we go, there is an eye frozen. And if we unfreeze it, that also hits it successfully, which is great. And because I was standing on this platform, up we go. Wonderful, you can shoot it again to go back down. I think it is rather than a timed thing. Oh no, it is a timed thing. What I want to do is use the Lens of Truth here now. Whatever I'm doing now, make sure you don't have the bunny hood on for this. Because there's a series of little platforms here, and if you are, you'll notice they are pretty well positioned. If you are using the bunny hood, you will overshoot them and have a rough time. Also, look at that, the edges of the Lens of Truth are slightly animated, they're like shimmering a little bit. Even Ocarina 3D didn't do that, and that's actually just a really nice touch. It's nice to see stuff they've actually improved on between Ocarina 3D and this game in terms of their ability to remake N64 Zelda games. It's great. Anyway. With that out of the way, we can proceed to a new room. Is this a new room? No, this isn't a new room. This is the central room. It's just a bit different. Because you'll notice we've got this pillar in the way here, and it's got these white bits facing us. We are going to deal with those in a bit, don't worry. Whoop, he says, slapping the microphone. But what we want to do is roll along here. And we can then melt this ice here. Now here, we want to roll round to this side, but be careful here, because if you look down, you're just going to fall down if you fuck this up, so just roll fairly carefully, don't go too quickly, and you're all good. And look at that, a locked door, and we picked up a key at the beginning of this episode. Wonderful, through we go, and time to face a new enemy. So this here is an abominable snowman. These things are called Enos. It's persistent, and it's susceptible to heat. You can fire arrow them, I just also tend to just punch the shit out of them, works well enough. Ground pound, also great, because generally in this game, if you're vaguely surrounded, ground pound will be great for just clearing some space around you. I'm just having to get used to one of the slightly odd things they've changed in this game is to curl up as Goron mode. Previously you held A to do it in the N64 version. In this version you press A once to curl and press again to uncurl. It means while you're rolling around you don't have to hold A, which is quite nice, but it is a little unusual, so it will take me a while perhaps to get used to that fully. So, we've got one thing we need to grab in here briefly, is over there, there's a ledge that it doesn't look like you can quite access. Indeed, there is a fairy through it. Annoyingly, you can't use fire arrows and the Lens of Truth at the same time, because they both use magic, and I guess the game just hasn't got a way of calculating double magic usage, but also you can just shoot as if the Lens of Truth thing isn't in there. You'll hear the clock going in the background, because that means it's about to be the night of the first day, which means we're making good time. Now here's an enemy we've faced before. They were a mini-boss in the last dungeon, but now they just throw you 2 of them straight here. These are indeed Dynalphos. These are nice and easy to fight as Goron Link, just punch the shit out of them. So yeah, I want to finish this dungeon before... oh, by the way, they drop a stray fairy when they're done, which is great. And yeah, 2 punches will knock them both the fuck out. And each of them drops a stray fairy. So there's 2 in this room. We've got all but the final stray fairy in the dungeon, which is wonderful. And yeah, we've got to finish up the dungeon by in the next 12 hours, which is absolutely fine, because there's something very specific I want to do that you have to do in the first night. With that done, we can head through And we are in the central chamber once again. We're on top of the pillar. But I just literally want to cross over to the other side to the weirdly rendered texture on this door. Ah, yes, this freak is back. This game's pretty big on having two bosses per dungeon. 2 mini-bosses per dungeon, even. Here, the same tactic we've been using before with the bunny hood does work. The issue is just that sometimes he appears just slightly too far away for you to reach him in time, and especially if he's up there. Fire arrows do far more damage to him because he's ice-based, though you wouldn't tell this because he's never actually successfully landed an attack on me. Oh, but he's doing this thing already. So using arrows is a far more viable tactic than it was when he was... Oh, yeah, bugger! I'm still determined to not let this man actually let off an attack. But yeah, arrows is a much more viable tactic than it has been in the past. Oh, he's that one up there. Shit. Oh, he's going to hit me. There we go. That's his thing. So it freezes you solid, makes a bit of shitey ice on the floor. All very terrible. He's pretty close to me. He's there. Oop, there we go. And where is he going to be now? He is... Don't know. Shit, he's going to hit me. Oh, you bastard. Oh, he still didn't actually hit me. Hey, he's right here. Oh, I should have jumped attack because that actually would have killed him. But as it was, he only just took a bit of damage. There we go. So with that done, it's slightly weird because it doesn't seem like you've necessarily unlocked anything, but if you look at the map, there's actually a second just route out of this room. It just isn't immediately obvious. Just break these and get a bit of stuff back. Magic and arrows, both very nice. For fire arrows, you can see why I wanted to get the... there you go, top entrance here actually has this thing in it. Special chest. But yeah, you can see why I wanted to get the quiver upgrades before doing this dungeon, just because having more arrows and the double magic meter just makes it so much easier. Like, doing this dungeon while you're trying to juggle fire arrow, like, magic amounts and arrow amounts is just frustrating. But there we go. We've now got the boss key. Now all we need to do is open the way to the boss door, which is not necessarily easy. We got a lot to do, certainly. We want to come here, and as Goron Link, we just need to roll off to the side here pretty gently. Bonk. And downstairs we go. So we need to adjust the height of this pillar overall. I say adjust.
Why is this the only part that's a different colour? It doesn't look like it'll move if you push it. Why don't you try giving it a good whack?
Indeed, these white segments wallop. And again, wallop. So we've got 2 more segments now there to deal with. So what we need to do is go back up the stairs we just came down. And now we're at the right height to hit that one, but not the one below, so we just need to follow this snowdrift down to the right, oop, and not bounce off that wall and send myself down the pit. And now we can lower the pillar again. Brilliant. Now, to get up to where we want to, we just need to roll up here. And this is probably one of the easiest things to miss in the entire dungeon. Up ahead there is our goal. We just need to go that way and the boss is there. But if you look on the bottom screen, you'll see we have got 14 out of 15 stray fairies. We've got 1 more to get. This final one is a real bugger. What we need to do is come onto... Where is it? Oh, it's this bit here, isn't it? Yes, you can just see Tattle's flown down to it there. If she hadn't, you'd barely tell. Take the Goron mask off and look with the lens of truth and you'll see there is a way down there. To get to this, the best way I found of doing so is slap the bunny hood on and do a bit of a leap of faith. Oh, cocks. Well, balls. That's going to take me a while to get back up for. Good lord, look at the time at the bottom now. That is a time-consuming recovery from that nonsense. Holy shit. That went terribly. Right, let's try that again. I think I want to be a bit closer on this side, and let's jump for it there. There we go. That's way easier. God, fuck. That took me literally like an hour and a bit, in game time, obviously not real time, to recover from. Anyway, we've got all the stray fairies. I haven't actually shown yet where the fairy, the split kind of fairies fountain is, but we'll see it later. Don't you worry. With that done, we can now just hop straight back up to where we want to be, which is not here. No. Balls. Oh, right, fuck. Okay. Oh, yeah, actually, that has a way up. That's fine. Let's go on up. Yes, you can swap straight from one form of link to the other, which is pretty handy. And then there we go, we've got these snowballs ahead of us here, so if we go them full pelt, we don't quite get it in time. It's hard to time that to actually smash through these in the rolling fashion. But if we head upstairs, our boss door is just over this jump. And whoop! And just like that, through we go. Now this boss, I will freely admit, is great fun. Probably my favourite in the game. It's frozen. For some reason, we can't just leave it frozen. I guess it's still managing to fuck up Snowhead even from here. The demon of Snowhead, and fuck, it looks creepy. This used to scare the shit out of me as a kid. You got this music going on of this that feels like something's coming up behind you, the blum 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 ba-da-dum, ba-da-dum, and then there's this mechanical freak at the top, frozen in ice. Scared the shit out of me. Masked mechanical monster. Good. I've never settled on a good pronunciation from this. Some people say goat, but then that just makes it sound like a goat, and it looks like a goat. And got, or goth, just doesn't sound right. I go for Gert, as in the German pronunciation of the word God, as in G-O with an umlaut T. It remains, however, a fantastic boss fight, and as you notice there, I landed just about on its back with my spikes fully extended, which means it crashes and its weird eye thing extends out. This thing is nice and vulnerable to fire arrows. You should be able to get 3 good hits in every time you manage to knock it down. That's been changed slightly about this boss fight. All the boss fights have been changed slightly to make their weaknesses a little more obvious. Now every boss in the 3D version has an eye somewhere. You can come up right up to him, and like, I'm not going to use the jump, I'm literally just going to come up to him, next to him, and you can hit him that way. The issue is, you get very close to his legs, which kick shit at you, and you'll notice there that boulder, the stalactite stopped me. He's charging electricity at the moment. If you get too far away from him, he'll fire an electric bolt at you, and it's pretty nasty. You can actually get up close to him and then get out of Goron mode and fire some fire arrows at him. That's a completely doable approach, but the issue is, you get up close and then you transform and then he'll fire that electric attack at you, and that's fairly likely. I'm going to try and just take him down the normal way here just to show you that as well. There you go, he's crumbled down now, and because of that his eye is exposed on the back, so we lay into it with some fire punches, and he's up again. You tend to do better damage to him, and it's also slightly more fun if you try... Oh, God! If you try and land on top of him. You'll notice those big green jars, they replenish your magic. You can roll around this arena pretty much indefinitely. You ain't going to have that problem, I don't think. There we go. That hit straight on top of him will knock him down instantly, whereas to the side you need a few more hits. But then, especially depending on what your weaponry is, you can deal quite a lot of damage to him while he's down that way. There you have to hit him with projectiles, but when he's down on the side, you can wail him with a sword or something like that, and depending on what you've got access to, you can do more damage to him. I'm very glad that this boss is enjoyable because... Oh, there we go, just got him. I'm glad this boss is enjoyable because the chances are it's highly likely you'll have to do it multiple times during the game, but it's by far the most fun boss in the game, I think. So, 3 hits should take him down? Nope. Ugh, that's annoying. Yeah, basically, every area in the game changes when you defeat its boss, and if you want those changes back again in a given cycle, you have to defeat the temple's boss again. This one is probably the most fun of all the bosses. Oh, there you go. There's the electric thing. Don't let Gert get too far ahead of you there. But yes, this is probably the most fun of the bosses, as in some of the others are painless, but this one I find actively fun, just like chasing after him. It's entertaining. Let's see if I can get him a bit this way. He's going to try and electrocute me, but I can hopefully basically jam myself under his back legs a little bit. There we go. Wonderful. And let's wail on his eye and hopefully finish him off. Yes! And there is Gert defeated, and unfortunately, motherfuckers, he dropped his remains. And the bloody heart container I need. God, they had Richie all the way around the other side. God. He was clearly right next to me when I killed him. I guess he staggered off in the final death throes, didn't he? There he is, entombed in there somewhere. Right, let's grab ourselves the commemorative heart container, of course. Wonderful, another unit of life for me. We've nearly completed the top row. And indeed, let's get his remains, Gert's mask. Slap that on the visualizer, you seized Gert's remains. In doing so, you freed the innocent spirit that was imprisoned within this dark mask. Time for another trip to the bubble bath.
What exactly are all of you? Guardians? So you're protective gods? That's why you're in the temples. But why are the protective gods? No, wait, are you listening to me? Hey, wait!
So, unfortunately this bee here will try and attack us, because bees are bastards like that. But yes, this is our reward for completing Snowhead Temple, is springtime in the mountains. As you can imagine, this changes quite a lot, and you'll probably end up doing this multiple times over the course of the playthrough, so be prepared to defeat Gort again. I'll show you this off when I think I need to, because I'm going to need to do this at least once again, but if at the moment for you, if it isn't the end, if it's the second day or the third day, and if it's not still night of the first day, to follow along with me here, what I suggest you do is play the Song of Time, play the inverse Song of Time, go back to Snowhead Temple and defeat Gert again. If you present Gert's remains at the beginning of the temple, you skip through the entire temple, you just have to beat the boss again. So if you've not managed to do it as quickly as I have, there's your thing. Why do I need to do it like that? I'll show you in just a second. For now, Donjero's mask, and we have the head of a frog. Because he is Donjero, I give him Spanish accent. I have been waiting for you, Donjero. Forgive me if I am mistaken, but it looks like you've lost a little weight. As you can see, Donjero, the long winter has ended and spring has finally come to the mountains. Let us begin our chorus. Unfortunately, it seems not all of our members have gathered. Perhaps it is because winter was too long. The rest of the choir must not have realized that spring has come to the mountains. And when the great Donjero has come for us, what a pity. Where in the world could the rest of the choir be, and what could they be doing? So, you'll notice there's 4 frogs missing from the frog choir, and this is why we'll have to do Springtime in the Mountains again, because you need Springtime in the Mountains for this to work. We have access to 3 of these 4 frogs at the moment, and I've actually shown all 3 of them. You'll have to rack your brains a little bit, perhaps. The 4th one we will not have access to for quite some time, so once we have access to that, we will have to defeat Gort again to trigger this event. For now, what we want to do is, well, turn Goron first and get a little bit of free finances. Thank you very much for that. And the Mountain Smithy is our goal here. So, they're going to reforge our sword, and they'll only do it when we're a human, because obviously Goron doesn't have a sword. Ah, a customer. Kimura, fetch our customer some coffee, quick like. Now then, let me take a look at your sword. Alright, to sharpen your sword will cost 100 rupees. It'll be ready at sunrise. You'll have to let us hold on to your sword until then. Keep in mind, after you use the new sword 100 times, it'll lose its edge and revert back to its original sharpness. We'll do it. And that's a crucial thing. It lasts until sunrise. If it is not the first day, don't do that. You'll notice I'm now completely unarmed. We're just going to have to rely on Goron Link's Fire Punch to save us here. In the meantime, I'm going to soar to Snowhead, and we'll get a reward at least for doing the stray fairies there. So basically, we need to have the enhanced sword. Oh, there's Bigaron. Let's give him a bit of a chat.
Darmani, what in the world have I been doing this whole time? I can't remember a thing since I went out to look at Snowhead to figure out why spring wasn't coming. What am I doing sitting in a place like this?
I guess he was bamboozled by the demon of Snowhead. Good. But yes, we need to have that special sword on the second day, not the third day. Whenever you give it to them, they will give it you back, reforged and ready to roll by the next sunrise. So if you give it to them any point on the first day, doesn't matter if it's 5:55 or whether it's 6 a.m. dawn of the first day. If you give it to them on the first day, you'll get it by sunrise of the second day. If you give it to them any later than that, you'll get it on dawn of the third day, and we won't have it on the second day, which we need. So this is why it matters that you beat Snowhead on the first day, to make sure that you've got your sword in with the mountain smithy at some point on the first day, so we could conceivably get it back at dawn of the second day. I will explain later on why that matters, mostly tomorrow, I think. Tomorrow? Next episode. Also tomorrow. For now, let's get our reward for returning all the stray fairies. Oh, strong young one, I am the great fairy of power. Thank you for returning my broken and shattered body to normal. As thanks, I grant you the prowess with this new sword technique. Handy, given that our sword is currently in a forge somewhere. But yes, this was swapped around with the Woodfall one. This is the spin attack, which lets you do a super spin attack. It's not very useful. I'm glad they put that here rather than at Woodfall, because it's much handier to have the double magic meter for Snowhead, because you use magic so much for the Lens of Truth and for the fire arrows. So that was a useful swippy swap that they did in this version of the game. With that done, we haven't got a great deal left to do today, so let's head back to the mountain village and skip to dawn of the second day. Dawn of the second day. 48 hours remain. If you hadn't... so spring will automatically melt their forge. If their forge is not melted, you can just melt it with a fire arrow. You don't need to get springtime in the mountains necessarily for that. Anyway, at dawn of the second day... kept you waiting, but it's done, see? And we get the Razor Sword. It looks really cool. You'll note it's not on the visualizer, though. This new sharper blade is a cut above the rest. Use it 100 times without dulling its superior edge. I always really like the look of the Razor Sword, with the kind of the fact that it actually has got two separate edges. Now, keep in mind that after you've used the sword 100 times, the blade will lose its edge and return to its original sharpness. But I'll let you in on a secret. If you value a strong blade, give me some gold dust before that sword there loses its edge. You do that and I'll be able to forge the strongest of swords. Even better, the blade will never lose its edge. Never, not even a little. You get that gold dust, bring me some and good things will happen. Think on it. Roar, 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 roar. So, why is the Razor Sword not on the visualizer? Because as a temporary item, because it only lasts for 100 swings, despite the fact that it does double damage, it only lasts for 100 slashes, good lord. And as such, it is counted by the game as a temporary item, and as such will not travel back in time with you, so it doesn't feature on the visualizer. As they said there quite rightly, how to make it permanent? Gold dust. You need to give them gold dust, and you need to give them a full day to reforge it. So we need to get gold dust by the beginning of the third day in order for them to reforge it in time. Because if we give them gold dust on the second day, at any point, they'll have it ready. Oh, look at this area as well. It's also really nice during spring. They'll have it ready by dawn of the third day. If we give it to them with gold dust on the third day, they'll have it ready for dawn of the fourth day. Which doesn't end well for us. So our goal for next episode mostly will be to get gold dust. For now, I just want to end by talking to the Goron Elder. Now that spring has come to the mountains, The demon of Snowhead has been defeated by none other than the great Damani. Oh, Damani, I've been waiting impatiently for you.
I've been waiting for your arrival ever since I heard the news.
Remembering my voices.
I heard that you and the one who once thought to be dead had sealed off the blizzard that was blowing in from Snowhead. Thanks to you, spring has come to Goron Village. Everyone is pleased.
The greatest Goron hero of all, that's Damani! The immortal Goron who is not dead even if he has died, that's Damani! The star whom we wish upon, that's Damani! Damani, the greatest of Gorons! Greatest of Gorons! Damani is the greatest in the world! Greatest in the world!
My son got better immediately. He went to see the Goron races that celebrate spring. This time I, the protector of the tribe for so many years, choose to yield the seat of tribal patriarch to a younger one. The Goron who makes calm decisions yet boasts courageous determination and to take care of all shall be the patriarch. The chosen one, Damani, is you. There could be no other. What do you think? If it's you, everyone would happily accept you as patriarch.
What? You need not answer so quickly. Go and enter the Goron races. Think it over slowly. I am awaiting a thoughtful response. This is particularly poignant when you consider that Damani is dead. We're just carrying out his kind of last wishes, which was save the Gorons, protect the mountain village. We can't become the patriarch because we can't stay here forever as Damani, because eventually we have to return to his life and our life and leave his alone, and people have to move on from this. That's really powerful to me. That it's like, no, we've eased his regrets, but people are still going to have to deal with that death. And like, even here we're seeing bargaining. We're seeing them be like, oh, please be the patriarch, stay with us forever, Damani. They want him to stay. He wants us to stay when he was like, bring me back to life with your magic. Even after the evil's been dealt with, we still see that bargaining in Snowhead. And unfortunately, people will have to deal with the grief rather than bargaining their way out of it. Yes, their hero came back, but he's not going to be able to stay, and they'll have to look out for themselves again. This game, I do like it. But it makes me go in deep, certainly, which is not necessarily a bad thing at all. It certainly makes me think about these deeper issues more than any other Zelda game does, and more than most other games do. Bit of a voice crack there. But thank you very much for watching. We have defeated Gert in Snowhead Temple and brought springtime to the mountains. Next episode, I will be showing off the vast number of things that we can do with springtime. One main one, but it's linked into gold dust. Hope you'll join me then. Thank you very much, and good day.